Hi, I'm Chris Hall, Senior Vice President of Product and Operations here at Precisely. Today, I'd like to introduce you to the Engage part of our business and our cloud customer communication managed service, EngageOne RapidCX. Throughout the summit, you've heard and learned how critical data integrity is to your business. But I want to expand on that to show you how data is really the cornerstone for delivering excellent customer experiences. I also want to share with you the impact on your business of aligning your data integrity efforts with your customer communication practices. And finally, you're going to see an awesome demo from Kristen Aldridge and our new product, EngageOne RapidCX. Now for some fun facts. Did you know that US businesses risk $1.8 trillion in sales each year due to bad experiences? I'm sure everyone here has canceled a service or stopped visiting a business. When you add it all up, it equals $1.8 trillion. Or did you know 48% of polled companies report that their biggest challenge in creating customer experiences is data accessibility? How about that only 12% have their customer communications fully integrated into their CRM? And those 12%, newer businesses, few legacy systems, that's just when asked about CRMs. Most companies that we work with, we have 10 to 20 systems that we need to integrate to. By not having access to real-time data, or in some cases, any data, companies expose themselves to fragmented customer experiences, operational inefficiencies, and limited governance ability. This leads us to the common reality impacting customer communications. Many companies use siloed communication solutions, typically one or more solution to support each communication channel. This makes it almost impossible to deliver controlled and connected customer journeys where each communication and interaction is personalized for maximum impact and clarity and can account for what was communicated before, irrespective of channel. This siloed approach has many additional challenges. For example, duplicate integrations are required for each core system and channel. It also becomes hard to make updates to communications and ensure consistency across channels. Not to mention the challenges of getting communication updates approved for all channels by all stakeholders, and then working with IT to get each communication update for each channel deployed into production. Siloed data, siloed communication systems, and this integration mess are reasons why 67% of CX leaders identify room for improvement in the customer experiences they deliver. That's also probably why it takes many organizations up to 90 days to make simple changes to customer communications across all channels. Instead of integrating with separate systems to manage each communication channel, forward-thinking companies are adopting a single, cloud-hosted, integrated customer engagement platform. So that the way they can deliver controlled and connected customer journeys where each communication and interaction is personalized for maximum impact and clarity, and it can account for what was communicated before, irrespective of channel. A cloud-hosted integrated customer engagement platform like EngageOne RapidCX lets you manage, review, update, and audit the contents of your communication using a single, intuitive browser user interface. An additional platform benefit is that you can integrate with it once for all channels. When you want to engage with customers on a new channel like WhatsApp, there's no need for new connections on your side. This also means that if a particular communication or policy drives additional volume to your call center, or say, interest rates change again, then you can update these communications in minutes instead of days to furnish your customers with the information they need quickly. And you can do this while strictly adhering to centrally defined approval processes by your brand team to ensure regulatory and brand compliance. Now let's take a look at some of the main capabilities of EngageOne RapidCX. Content rules and management, communication creation for email, print, SMS, and more, delivery API services, secure transaction handling, data and event API integrations, preference and profile management of your customers, governance, reporting, and archiving for regulatory compliance. All of this is built on a serverless, microservices-driven architecture for flexibility. But the platform, it's only as good as the people and processes that surround it. And in that department, we've got you covered. The Precisely Engaged team brings over 15 years of experience migrating and implementing clients onto a hosted, integrated customer engagement platform in several highly regulated industries. The proof's also in our results. Customer communication management operating costs dropped by up to 30% for organizations adopting hosted managed services. These annual savings are typically in the $5 to $7 million range. And change management turnaround can drop from that average of 90 days to just 1, all while ensuring regulatory requirements are being met. So let's get to the demo so you can see the end-to-end value that EngageOne RapidCX delivers. Kristen, take it away.
Thanks, Chris. So as Chris mentioned, one of the primary benefits of RapidCX is faster change management. For example, our customers on average spent anywhere from 30 to 90 days on change management prior to RapidCX. Oftentimes, the work had to be completed by an IT resource. That work would have to be scheduled, tested, and validated prior to a scheduled deployment to their production environment. With RapidCX, non-technical business users can make content and business rule changes to communications via the UI, whether that be a PDF, an email, an SMS, or even an in-app template. Every change made within RapidCX is proofed and submitted to a governance workflow for approval and ultimately production activation. Now let's move into the demo and see RapidCX change management in action. For our demo today, we're going to meet Kelly. Kelly is a business analyst for Fortunity Bank, and part of her job is to manage content changes to customer communications. Kelly has been notified that the interest rate will be changing as of June 1st, which means the interest rate change templates will have to be updated with the new rate and an effective date by May 25th, which is when the system communications are triggered. We'll follow along as Kelly locates the current version of the interest rate templates, edits the interest rate, previews the communication, creates a proof of the communication with test data, submits the proof for governance review by the legal and compliance team members, and finally activates the template for production use, all within a short period of time. Welcome to RapidCX. So as Kelly logs in, you'll see that there are multiple modules available based on Kelly's user access rights. First, we'll step through the template changes that Kelly has to make. Then we'll do a quick overview of some of the other RapidCX modules you didn't see today, but they are no less important to the unified communications platform. To make the requested template change, Kelly's first going to click into the communication templates, which is where all of the templates are housed within RapidCX. Then we're going to move into Communication Builder, and Kelly wants to find all of the interest rate templates within the system. So she's going to type in interest here. You'll see that there are 3 templates available dependent upon their delivery channel: the PDF template, the SMS template, and the email template. She's going to click on the email template since this is the one she wants to change. And right off the bat here, you're going to see automatic version control. So every single change within the system is recorded for a full audit trail behind each and every version. We can also see the status of that particular version, whether or not there's been a governance approval behind it, any kind of proofing output that was associated with the version, and any kind of metadata variables that have been associated with the template to that point. So Kelly wants to use the latest version of the template to make her changes. So we're going to click on version 8. And that's going to move us to the template versioning page. It's going to confirm that the communication definition that's being used to date is the correct version. Since Kelly's not adding any additional data variables, we're going to leave the communication definition as it is. We're going to update the description to say updated for 6/1/23 rate change. We'll hit next. And then Kelly's going to be presented with the email template itself. And you can see there's a communication specific friendly from. There's a personalized subject line using the metadata variables that are available for this particular communication. And where we really want to make the change is here in the email body. So Kelly knows that the change is actually going from 4.55% to 4.65 in this particular case. She can scroll through the rest of the email body and validate that all of the other changes that she's made in the past are correct, including block level rules that drive in and out paragraphs into the communication. And you'll see this rule is based on the state of Arkansas. If she wants to preview the communication, we actually have a built-in email client preview within RapidCX. If we want to see the communication rendered for web, mobile, and desktop, and what that's going to do is render the communication so that fonts can be validated, that the layout can be validated to ensure any changes that were made do not affect the layout as they were. So as Kelly looks through, she's validated that the communication looks as it should. So she's going to exit that preview and she's going to move forward. And what this last step is going to allow her to do is highlight any trackable links within the communication. So there are actually 4 trackable links within this particular communication: viewing the account online, downloading the Fortunity application, chatting with us, and going to the privacy notice. So those are the links that will be tracked for this particular communication. And she's going to submit this as a brand new version. So now you'll see when Kelly returns to the revisions page that she now has a draft version 9, and she's going to move draft version 9 into proofing. But I do want to point out that version 8 is still the active version. So what that means is if there are any data files or payloads that come into the system, they are still going to leverage version 8 until version 9 is the active version. So we're going to move into manage proofing, and you'll see we're now at the proofing history page. There have been no proofs on this version, and we want to create a new proof. So Kelly's already created use case specific test data sets for this particular change. In this case, she modified the data variable for June 1st to show that that was the date, the effective date that the interest rate would change. So Kelly's going to enter in the email address of any recipient she wants to receive that proof. In this case, it's KristenAldridge@precisely.com, and hit next. And when we hit submit here, that's actually going to send an email proof of this particular communication, not only to Kristen, but it's also going to upload a copy of that proof to this version so that it will live with the life of version 9. If 6 months from now, someone wanted to come back and look at the full audit trail of what was created and what was approved, they can go in and see the exact proof that was sent to Kristen and ultimately approved on a particular date. So now if we go back to revisions, you'll see that that version has moved from draft to end proofing. So you're always step by step, in case you have to walk away, of what the version status is when running through proofing. Now, if I go back into manage proofing, that particular version proof is complete. I can view it. So now Kelly can see what the email is going to look like. It's plugged in with the data variables that she had in her test set. She can see the account ending as well as the change to 4.65%. So now she feels good that the changes she made are correct. So we're going to exit out of that. We're going to go back over and accept our proof. You also have the option to reject the proof if something would have been wrong, and you can reproof as you make changes. But in this case, Kelly's going to accept. It's going to confirm that we want to accept this version. And as we move back to the revisions, it is moved from in proofing to an accepted status. And we now have an additional button here called governance. And governance is the full workflow where we track the audit trail of people reviewing the proof, providing any feedback, ultimately approving the proof and activating it. So we're going to move into the approval workflow of our governance engine. We're going to start the approval workflow. Click on the desired response date. So Kelly wants to hear back today. And this is an email that will go into an email body of anyone that is a part of the workflow she chooses for governance. Please review the requested interest rate changes. Hit next. And now we're going to find the workflow we want to send. So users can actually create their own workflows. So there might be different combinations of compliance and legal, or just legal, or someone on the business team. In this case, we want to find the compliance workflow. We can always use the asterisk as our wild card. So now I see compliance team approval. I see that that has 2 tiers. That is the one I want to select. And so you'll see here there are 2 tiers. There's the legal team and the compliance team. So what's going to happen when I submit this particular workflow is that the legal team is going to get an email telling them that there is a rapid object, in this case, an email body out here for their review and approval. Only once the legal team has approved does it move on to the compliance team for their approval and then come back to Kelly for activation into production. So we're going to hit submit. Those emails will now go out to legal and compliance, and you can see Tier 1 status is pending, and Tier 2 is pending Tier 1 status. For the purposes of demonstration, we're going to act as if these users are out of office. So you'll see that changes now to approved for status 1. If there had been any feedback, that would be available in feedback. The user can also go in and cancel that approval as she moves along. So we're going to do the same thing here for Tier 2, out of office. And now as we go back into our template version 9, we have the change status button. So you see here we've now gone from proofing to governance, and now we have the option of changing the status of version 9 to make that our active template. So when I hit change status here, it's going to confirm and remind me that only one version can be active at a time. And when I hit OK, version 9 is now the active version of the template. So any data file that comes in or payload that comes in going forward will use version 9 with the updated rate change information within it. So now we've wrapped up Kelly's requested change. So now we're going to step through some of the other modules within RapidCX. The documents, approvals, and deliveries modules make up the RapidCX archive. These modules contain as-delivered communications and delivery tracking. They allow users like Kelly to search and retrieve the exact version of a communication, no matter the delivery channel. So that means if Kelly or any other back office or call center user received a customer call, they can look up the exact communication and follow along with the customer. So let's go through a quick use case in document search. Let's say that customer Thomas Wolf called and he has a question about a message on his banking statement. So Kelly would go into documents, click on search, go to the document type banking statements, and she can enter in any of the search terms applicable to Thomas Wolf. So in this case, we're going to enter in Thomas Wolf's name, hit submit, and all of Thomas's statements are then presented to Kelly. She can find which version of the statement, which dated statement that Thomas has a question on, click on that statement, and she can see the exact version of the statement that Thomas is looking at. There are no additional inserts added on the print room floor. Everything that Thomas was mailed or Thomas was emailed in this case is available in the communication that she's looking at. So that she can scroll down, see the important reminders, address any frequently asked questions he might have on his statement. In addition, we can also see any kind of deliveries that went out to Thomas if he has a question on a communication that went to him via SMS or email. So that wraps up the documents module as we go through. Next, the rapid communications module within the system is where one-to-one interactive and ad hoc communications can be triggered by API or by back office and call center teams. Those communications can be sent via email, SMS, or PDF using governed and approved templates to avoid compliance risk. So every communication triggered through rapid communications is available in the archive that we just reviewed for tracking purposes. The Rapid Campaigns module is where one-to-many list-based communications can be triggered for delivery via SMS, email, or print. Rapid campaigns can be used for ad hoc collection efforts, targeted marketing, or even special events like weather shutting down a brick and mortar location, which we've seen. The Content Manager module houses all content business rules and content resources like logos, PDF attachments, footers, backer pages for use on communications. And finally, the Production Operations module, containing full end-to-end job tracking for every inbound and outbound batch or real-time payload job received by RapidCX, including those generated by the modules we just reviewed. So that wraps up our demonstration for this session. If you want to know more or receive a full demonstration of RapidCX, contact us through our website at precisely.com, and we'd be happy to give you more information. Back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Kristen. Great demo. As you can see at Engage, we believe when you engage your data, you can better engage your customers. Now, Kristen just showed you some exciting capabilities of EngageOne RapidCX that we think can have a profound impact on your business. We're going to dig deeper into how you can further unlock millions of dollars in savings during our Engage breakout later today. I look forward to seeing you there.